Yo, 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 what's good? What's good, YouTube? This is Stormybman, and I'm here after checking out the pay per view fight card for the PBC Spence versus Porter event. What I have to say, sooner or later, sooner or later, y'all gonna listen to Stormy B, man. You're gonna listen to me. You might be on your deathbed. You might, you know, be wearing depends. You might even have a cane or a wheelchair. But sooner or later, you're going to sit the hell down and you're going to listen to Stormy B Man. You know why? Because Stormy B Man always give it to you straight. Huh? He always give it to you straight. One of these days, somebody out there gonna realize and recognize. They're gonna say, you know what? That damn Stormy B Man, I don't like him. But the ninja give it to you straight. I almost said something else, but you know what I mean. That's what you're gonna do, you know. And if you don't, then you're gonna keep bumping your head, and we're gonna keep buying band-aids. You're gonna be wrapped up like you got a cast on, huh? But look here, I ain't gonna hold you long because I gotta work in the morning. I don't usually work on Sundays, but they calling me in, so I'll be on here for a short moment, and then I'll come back tomorrow afternoon with what I'll call part two of this. But as I open up, I want to acknowledge a couple of people that fell into my chat here. It's Mahari Sports Nation podcast. He says, "What a fight tonight. This will be talked about for years to come." Joseph Brown says, "Salute Stormy B." He says, "I had it 116, 111. Spence with the knockdown." GG is out there. He says, "That Stormy B Man, salute." Iceberg Nerd says, "Salute, man." He said, "Let's chop it." Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens says, "Salute, OG. That was a throwback era classic fight they put on. It's fire with boxing gloves up. 2 gloves up." Yeah, man. Now, there's a couple of brothers in this chat that I've spoken with over the past couple of days, including today with Mahari Sports Nation podcast. Mahari Sports Nation podcast. Did I not tell you? Did I not tell you in my appearance on your show? Did I not tell you? Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. You was on the show last night. Did I not tell you? Matter of fact, on Mahari Sports Nation show, I had to say something to Brooklyn Child Boxing. Okay? But this is not a thing of where I'm saying I told you so, because that's not it. What I'm trying to convey here is, in the observation for the sport of boxing, there are so many things that you can make an assessment on, but there are always some underlying elements under the table that will not come to mind, no matter how much you love or do not like a particular fighter. We saw all of that tonight on every fight under the cards, including a straight up robbery on this card tonight. But I'll go into detail on that, when I come back for the discussion tomorrow afternoon. And I can't wait to chop it up with you guys, because this was a historical moment. Earl Spence Jr., The Truth, Showtime, Sean Porter have etched their names in the annals of the sport of boxing at the welterweight division in a most classic of fights of this modern era. This fight is on par with Leonard and Hearns. This fight was on par better than De La Hoya and Trinidad. It was better than Mayweather and Pacquiao. This fight is up there with Hearns and Leonard. And I said in my show last night, how about a rematch? Did I not say that, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens? Did I not say that? All these people talking about Earl Spence was going to dog walk Sean and he'll be by the 6th to the 8th round out of there. Some even said 10th round is the magic number. Far as I remember from this evening, in the 10th round, Sean was given as good as he got. And he brought it. And I'll tell you something. Sean can bring it like that every fight. But he hasn't had to respect the opponent in that manner like he did tonight. This is what I was telling you guys also when I was speaking about fighters of today not polishing up themselves to get themselves in the best of shape. They cut corners. They take the easy routes and things like that because this sport is difficult. And you saw tonight what happens when two champions face off. There's more on the line than just their titles. What was on the line tonight was integrity. Okay? Integrity. You know, their cojones was on the line tonight. And you saw it. And you were moved by it. You were spirited. You probably downed a couple of extra drinks, smoked a couple of little of what you smoke on. You probably ate an extra slice that you shouldn't have had. You probably even knocked something up and spilled something on yourself, spilled something on the carpet or on your furniture. Because it was a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. A barn burner. But anybody who had been listening to me, I said this is what you were going to see. I said that. GG says, appreciate the post-fight discussion, bro. Thank you, GG. Appreciate you stopping by to hear me talk about it, because you didn't have to do that, and I appreciate you for it. Joseph Brown says, Fight of the Year props to both fighters. Crawford, you got to do something, man. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens says, me and you were both saying Sean was going to shock the folks who thought Earl would walk through Porter. Yes, indeed. Yep. Joseph Brown says, indeed, Stormy B. I said it would impact the landscape of the division heading into 2020. Iceberg Nerd says, I don't know if it was by choice or by force, but Earl fought Porter's style of fight. Shadow 979 says, as Stormy B-Man salute. And Iceberg Nerd comes back with, before the fight got made, I always thought Porter was a tough fight for Spence, but I let the internet convince me Earl would dominate him. Iceberg Slim, are you your own person? Huh? Because I'm going to tell you something. In the 50 plus years that I've been on this earth, man, I ain't letting nobody influence me. I'm going to walk to my own beat, brother. And another thing, my beat has my own rhythm. And that's what I'm familiar with. I tell people all the time, You can do what you do. Love doing it. Say what you want. As you will. But at the end of the day, you got to be comfortable in your own skin. Huh? Shadow 979 says, I thought this was going to be an easy fight for Spence. I predicted Spence by UD. Well, at least you came out and told the truth. You know, there's some people out here on this channel right now. I see the viewers, okay? And maybe one in the chat here that ain't going to own up to what they were saying. And that's okay too. Because you have to live with that, not me. You know? This fight was a classic. This fight was everything that you've been craving for and from the sport of boxing and the champions of today. You could not have asked for a better fight. You could not have asked for a better fight. Joseph Brown says, Shadow 979, man, bro, did you sleep? Shadow 979 says, Joseph Brown, I'm running on fumes now, bro. I'm running on fumes too, brother, because I got to be up in a few hours just to go to work, man. I don't usually work on Sundays. But I wanted to come out here and touch base with part one of this with you all, because I just wanted to get out here and say how magnificent a performance both gentlemen put on, both champions, okay? And they delivered the goods. Like hell, they delivered the goods. Iceberg Nerd says, I'm my own man for sure, but I'm a Spence fan, so I bought into the hype a little bit. Not a fan of Porter's style, but I see how it gives fighters problems. Shadow 979 says, I wanted a war and I wasn't disappointed. Iceberg Nerd, let's stop diminishing what Porter does or how he fights, because he's a professional fighter. There are some fighters that they may not necessarily fight in a style or a manner which is appealing to you. But that doesn't make them lesser. Okay? It doesn't. There are fighters who look great in the ring, but that doesn't make them better. Okay? There's an old connotation, styles make fights. And that's what it comes down to. Primarily a fighter like Sean Porter, he fights the way he does because of his dimensions. He's relatively short at the weight. He has long arms, short legs. But he gets the maximum out of his efforts. Could he be technically better? Absolutely. You saw it in spurts here tonight. But I'll tell you something else that was on display by him tonight. Ring IQ. I recently did a video and did a couple of streams on Ring IQ. You saw that on display from Sean Porter tonight. He is by far not a dumb fighter. Okay? He gets the most out of what he brings. Michael Johnson Boxing Talk and More says, what it do? What it do with you, bro? Iceberg Nerd says, I'm not diminishing anything. It's my personal taste. I said he was an A-level. Bushguard 1029 says, excellent fight, contender for fight of the year. Joseph Brown says, exactly. I paid for the fight, and it was worth every penny, man. Black fighters can sell. What do you know? Old media. That's right. Iceberg Nerd says multiple times. Bushguard 1029 says, but from Earl's last 2 fights, I see nothing from him that says he beats Crawford. Bushguard 1029, wait till part 2 of this, because I'm going in on that subject right there. And it's going to be a lot of upset folks. They're going to be mad. They probably going to be talking behind my back. Go unsubscribe from Stormybman. Huh? They're going to be Fruit of the Looms in a bunch when I go in on that one right there. Huh? But I'm going to tell you something. Kudos to Sean Porter, man. Kudos to that brother there and his team and the professionalism and the way he conducted himself during the match. I loved every moment of it. Kudos to Earl Spence Jr. and his camp for trying to put on an exciting fight, because I don't think that Earl had to fight that way, but he did it. And he made it a classic for us all. Bushguard says, Porter isn't a dumb fighter. He just doesn't have elite boxing skills. Bushguard 1029, about 75 to 80% of the fighters fighting today do not have elite boxing skills. How about that? Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens says, I would have paid $200 for that fight. Iceberg Nerd says, I did underestimate Porter's footwork. He's quicker on his feet than I thought, and it kept Spence from being able to cut him off. Bushguard is laughing and rolling and crying. Joseph Brown says, tell Bud to fight somebody so we can measure him. He ain't fighting tough competition. Bushguard 1029 says, Iceberg Nerd. Alright, Bud Crawford just as quick on his feet, and he got elite skills. He gonna make some things interesting. I keep telling you to wait for it. Wait for part 2. Yeah, they're gonna come after Stormybman with some torches. Huh? I don't care, because I got fire-resistant draws on. I ain't mad at you. Okay? That's right, I said it. I got fire-resistant draws on. And my microphone is fire-resistant, and my laptop and camera is fire-resistant too. So do your best. But I'm still gonna say what I gotta say, and you ain't gonna like it later today. Because it is tomorrow. It's actually, Sunday. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens says, Sean Porter's jab was just as effective as Earl's. He was snapping Earl's head with that jab. Yeah, Earl had some facial damage too, didn't he? Wonder where that happened. I didn't see, Derek James throw no punches or slap him in the corner. So, an excellent fight, brothers. An excellent fight is what we saw here this evening. Tactically, I'll break that down later when I have more time. But as we let this soak in, I'm just amazed at how spot on the event turned out to be, to make a lot of people's jaws drop. But this is what happens when you get champions facing off against each other. Oh, and by the way, the knockdown, it was a result of a lapse in concentration, and Sean Porter, got nailed. But he had guarded against that all fight, and he just a moment, and Earl took advantage, as he's supposed to. And he paid for it. And it probably affected the decision in the fight. So he'll have that to swallow for the rest of his career. Because I don't believe these two gentlemen will fight a rematch, although the efforts and the results demand that these guys face each other again. Even more so than the fights that Sean had with Garcia and Thurman being championship fights. This was the type of fight where both men can bring the best out of one another. You know? Iceberg Nerd says, Bush God 1029, nothing on Bud's resume tells me he beats Earl or Sean. Iceberg Nerd. I see why that iceberg fits you. Huh? Because you need to cool it, brother. You really need to cool it. Bush God 1029 says Porter was using the jab well, and he was putting in some good body work, but Earl is durable as a MF. Earl was throwing a lot of low blows, too. A lot of low blows. A lot of low blows. One more time. A whole lot of damn low blows. Okay? A lot. Enough to warrant a point taken away. Possibly. But you know what? It was the other guy who was thought to be the dirty fighter, wasn't it? Getting hit below the belt like that on a regular basis saps your stamina, your strength, your legs, your conditioning. So maybe that little shot that landed on Porter in the 11th round, had he not sustained so many of those low blows, maybe he wouldn't have went as low as he went. Maybe he would have just staggered a little bit. Because he didn't go to the canvas, which showed you how strong his conditioning was. Because that was the late rounds of a heavy contested fight where both fighters were given as good as they got. Okay? Shadow 979 says, I say Bud would struggle with Sean and possibly lose. Joseph Brown says, Bud not beating Sean, hint why he said he has no interest in fighting him. Shadow 979 says, Joseph Brown, I agree with that. Bush God says, yeah. Joseph Brown, I think so too. And Sean's style would give Bud problems. Yeah. Well, Iceberg Nerd says, I'm forever cool, Stormy B, man. I saw that before you retracted it. I don't mind. You can talk mess with me because I'm going to talk mess with you. You know, this ain't a one-way street. My skin is tough. I'm a Negro. Huh? Yeah, I can take it. And I'm from Chicago. You see that brother just popped in the chat there, E. Woodson? He'll tell you about us Chicagoans. He says, at Stormy B Man, salute. Chi-Town, Chi-City OG. A shout out from the South Side. That was a dang good fight. You better believe it, brother. I saw it at the theater, E. Woodson. I saw it at the theater. And man, was I glad I did that. I was sitting there looking at that big old screen. I was like, this is awesome. You know? That's right. Joseph Brown is laughing and rolling. Shadow 979 is rolling too. Damn right. You know what I mean? I got thick skin. Now he come back. Iceberg Nerd. I'm forever cool, Stormy. Bud hasn't been tested. His welterweight resume is paper thin. How long has he been at welterweight, and how many welterweights fight has he had? Huh? He's not a career welterweight fighter. He has moved up. Like so many of these other fighters that you love and follow have moved from division to division. Huh? As far as I know, Sean and Earl been at welter all their lives. Huh? Or careers. You know? So, tomato, tomato. Huh? Iceberg Nerd. And Stormybman always gonna talk his shit. It's just that when you come to this channel, you come to hear it. Huh? That's just the way it is, bro. I'm a nice, respectable guy. But just like y'all, I could be an asshole too. Huh? This ain't about me. This is about commentary. If you look at my description, it says boxing editorial and commentary. Huh? And talk. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know? I have my way, and I don't try to do it no other way. E. Woodson says, I was at work, but I listened to KQ call the fight. I bet you KQ was exciting on that one, wasn't he? Or was he? I haven't listened to KQ's commentary. I'm over at the other channel, at Trey X and them, but tonight I was at the theater, so I wasn't listening to anybody call the fight because I couldn't get a signal in the theater. Otherwise, I would have been listening. Bush God 1029 says, yo, Trey X was excellent tonight, from the first undercard to the main event. I bet he was. I'll have to go back and watch their stream on that just to catch it, because I'm sure it was exciting. Exciting as hell, you know. But yeah. But I'm gonna tell you guys, when I come back this afternoon, which will probably be sometime, you know, early afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and I do a follow-up part 2 to this, I would like to go into detail and discuss everything, including the undercard and the robbery that I saw took place this evening. So if you all will be so kind to return to me at that time, I'll put a little reminder out roughly to let you know what time it'll be. I'll probably try to target the 5 p.m. hour or something like that. So that's what I'll do, and I'll give a full review. Undercard fights, the main event, the breakdown, and I'll invite somebody to be on with me too if they want to talk about it, like someone like Reggie, or if there's some other guys from the content creators that's out there that want to get on, and we can talk about it. But this was an excellent fight, a throwback to, like I said earlier, Leonard and Hearns, and the type of fight that fight fans deserve to see on a regular basis. Not just every blue moon, not just every 5 to 7 years or something like that. You should have fights like this a couple of times a year. The quality, meaning the real men facing one another. This is what it should be, you know. But let's see, we got Iceberg Nerd says, if I didn't rock with you, wouldn't be here. We're just going to disagree. But Bud until he fights someone. Bush God 1029 says, man sacrificed his voice for us. Salute to the corner. I know Trey won't be able to speak tomorrow. Was he really screaming? Was he really amped up? Man, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the brother. And GG says, looking forward to part 2, bro. Peace. Joseph Brown says, Bush God 1029 on God. Trey X said, dude stalking him like he's a white female on Lifetime Network. Bush God 1029 says, Iceberg Nerd. Well, I mean, from the basis of your argument, I can't disagree with that. But most of it has to do with when he came up and who's he signed to. But you definitely got a good argument. E. Woodson says, KQ was doing his thing. Much respect for you and him, because I want to hear both of my Chicago brothers' opinion as Stormybman. Well, thank you for that, E. Woodson. I appreciate you for that, bro. And I know KQ be out there listening to me sometimes. He just don't pop into the chat and make himself visible in the chat. But I know he out there. He be peeking in on this brother from Chicago. And I'm representing. I'm doing well. Joseph Brown says, facts. This used to be a regular thing back in the day. Yeah, about these competitive fights between competitive and competing champions and fighters. Bush God 1029 says, oh yeah, man, he was amped up from the first fight. Iceberg Nerd says, salute Bush God 1029. So yeah, brothers, I will come back maybe about 5 p.m. later today and give my take on the entire card. But Stormybman gonna have to sign it off for right now because I gotta be up by about at least 4:30, man. So I appreciate everybody who's came on here to listen to me for this little 30 minutes that I've been on. Shout out to these guys that put on an excellent show this evening. Salute to the fighters who scored their victories this evening. And to Al Heyman and the PBC for putting on such a wonderful card. It was an excellent event, respectful. The stars were out tonight. The other fighters were in the audience. It was a beautiful thing. And I loved it all. I loved it all. You know? Bush God 1029 says, Joseph Brown, bruh, he was hilarious with that. Saying, MF's more raggedy than a roach. Yeah. And Joseph Brown is laughing. Iceberg Nerd says, but Bud did choose to re-sign with rival promotional company. There's something to go into it right now, but I think he was kind of forced to. It was due to some things that was in the original contract. So I'll explain that if we get a chance, you know, touch that subject in the second part of this. And King Louis is out there. What's good, King Louis? Yeah, I'm going to come back a little later and do a full broadcast on this. This was just to get out there and say my little piece for right now, but I want to go in depth a little bit later. But I got to work in the morning, so I'll be out, you know, for a few hours. Iceberg Nerd says, salute Stormybman. Maine, salute to you and salute to the chat. So I'll sign off for now, brothers and sisters out there, and I'll catch you guys a little bit later. This has been Stormybman, and I'll catch you guys, you know. All right, peace. Come back for the second part for this. All right.